Duplication glitches are something that almost everyone who plays Skyblock has heard of, and they can heavily influence the economy of Skyblock if used in a very malicious way. Today I'll be discussing the top 5 craziest duplication glitches in Hypixel Skyblock. Also, only a small portion of you guys are actually subscribed, and you might think you are, but you're not, so if you could just check, that'd be amazing. Now, the first dupe we'll be taking a look at is the Ender Chest Beacon dupe. This dupe is very similar to my video about how dragon eggs were created and duplicated, except instead of using dragon eggs, you would use a beacon. Duplicating beacons caused a crash in their price when this dupe was still around, and it is still shown today with beacons only costing around 90,000 coins each. Before this dupe was found, beacons would cost anywhere from 1 to 2 million coins each. With how easily this dupe was to pull off, there are some players who duplicated beacons with multiple double chests full of them. During this dupe, players would continuously try to undercut the lowest price for beacons ever so slightly. There was even a point where beacons would sell as low as 40,000 coins each. If you see a player with beacons, there's a high chance they came from this dupe. The next dupe we'll be talking about is the Showcase Block dupe, or more specifically the one-person Showcase Block dupe. With how many dupes this one item had, I could make an entire video about just the Showcase Block, so if you'd like to see that, drop a like and comment letting me know. Now, as far as I'm aware, I'm the only person to pull off this dupe with just one person, as it was mainly done with 2 people. However, if you know anyone else that did this dupe with one person, let me know in the comment section. This dupe is a very simple one, but around 5 minutes after I had found it, I was getting ready to report this dupe to an admin, and then Showcase Blocks had been disabled due to another dupe being found with them. Around 8 hours later, Showcase Blocks had finally been re-enabled, and the dupe that I had found earlier was also patched. This dupe didn't last very long, and I had heard the 2-player method had been found the previous night, but to my knowledge, the dupe hadn't been severely abused and no one was banned for using it. Our next dupe we'll be discussing is actually a different type of dupe than the one you're probably thinking of, this dupe being a block dupe. Now, I won't be discussing a single block dupe, but rather them as a whole. A block dupe usually occurs during some sort of island freeze. I don't know the exact reason behind these island freezes, but from what I've heard, it seems to have something to do with the ways the chunks are stored in Skyblocks and how the services are handled. In Skyblock, a lot of different services are hosted on different computers and use different ways to communicate with each other. This separation could have one service be completely frozen and the other ones be completely fine. Skyblock also has a very different method of storing chunks along with world data. This again is all speculation, however it seems to be the most detailed and the most reasonable explanation for why these servers freeze like this. Our next dupe we'll be talking about is server crashes, and like the previous dupe, I won't be looking at a specific server crash, but more so just them as a whole. They could crash from just being overloaded with too many files or entities, or just randomly crash. When a server will crash, it will often roll back a few seconds or even a few minutes before it crashed. Like we talked about in the block dupes, Skyblock services are stored on many different servers and inventories and worlds are stored separately. This allows for you to be able to take out an item from something like a chest right before a server crashes, and then once the server reboots, you'll have a copy of the item in your inventory and in the chest. This can very easily be abused by the wrong people and cause major damages to the Skyblock economy. Before we get into our final dupe, I'd like to give an honorable mention to the Alpha Server Auction House and Bazaar bugs. During the first moments of the Alpha Server's semi-public release to MVP++s, the Auction House and the Bazaar were actually connected to the real versions of each on the main server. The admins were quick to disable both the Auction House and the Bazaar on the Alpha Server, but the damage was already done. A total of 45 players were banned from this, but not all 45 players were actually trying to abuse this, and a lot of them ended up getting unbanned shortly after. Now, our final dupe is probably the most well-known dupe of Hypixel Skyblock, this of course being the backpack dupe, which gained popularity when the YouTuber Hypixel leaked the method to do this on a main hub server. This gained massive popularity, not just from the people inside the hub, but from the forums and even people outside of Skyblock were talking about it. As most of you know, Hypixel was banned from Skyblock and lost his YouTube rank for a short period of time. This dupe wasn't abused as much as far as I know, but he did cause Skyblock to be shut down for quite a bit of time. This dupe wasn't abused insanely like some of our other dupes on Skyblock, but because of its widespread publicity and controversy, it will be taking our #1 spot. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already clicked the subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated and helps me out a lot more than you might think. If you'd like to see another one of the top 5 craziest dupes in Hypixel Skyblock, leave a like and let me know in the comments. That's all from me, and I'll see you next time.